So that's how we've titled it as Selected Hindu Philosophies, a case for economically and ecologically sustainable use of cow dung logs for cremation in India. Right, so we've already submitted this abstract. Let me begin with certain Hindu philosophies that we live through, right? So cremation, for the cremation, we burn body on a fire pyre. The burning often happens through wooden logs. Around 3 to 5 quintals of wooden logs are needed, along with ghee, which is refined butter, and cow dung cakes. Uh, that's to facilitate that. Alternately, we can use electricity also for the kind of incineration process, but there is one particular uh, tradition in which the skull, once it's burnt, it has to be broken, then depart the body only if this skull is broken. So, which is where you need to do it on wooden pyre, and electricity incineration are not very popular. That's why we are suggesting something called Gaukasht. I'll talk more about it. Certain other Hindu philosophies, we find cow, we treat cow as a holy animal. Most of the Indians would drink animal cattle. I mean, we cannot think of our meals without cattle milk, and so we treat it synonymous to mother. As a mother breastfeeds a child, we treat that since we are fed milk by cattle, we treat them synonymous to mother. Besides that, we believe in the philosophy of ahimsa. Ahimsa is non-violence, but the extent to which we take it is even that's where we have so many vegetarians. In my abstract, we've put the number of vegetarians in the country because we believe in non-violence to any living being. Then there is a concept of called Gaushala. Gaushala are those places where cows are kept. They are kept there even beyond their productive age. The idea here is that because you don't dispose of your mother once she is not resourceful. Similarly, since we've been fed the whole life by cow's milk, we don't just dispose cows of, and these are the ones which are kept in gaushalas, which are largely sponsored by philanthropic contributions. And the reasons why philanthropic contributions go there. So, unlike Western philosophy of sin and virtue, in Hindu religion, we have the concept of reincarnation, the rebirth. So, we believe humans will relive in a second life, third life. So, we have something like 84 lakh yonis, which means a soul goes through 84 species, of which humans is also one of the species. Now, a human is expected in the lifetime to do some good deeds and earn good credit. And so it's a debit credit kind of a thing where good deeds are debited, bad deeds are credited, and at the end of your life, an entire account is done on the basis of which it would be decided if you would again get a human incarnation or a weird kind of an incarnation. So people would be committed to associate themselves with good deeds, which is punya. And there's also one belief which is like we say that human body is made up of 5 elements: fire, in Sanskrit we call it agni, water jal, air vayu, um, prithvi akash, and that's sky and the earth. So we believe the human body would go back to these 5 elements once we cremate them on fire. Now, the situation here is that instead of putting a human body on a wooden pyre, we are suggesting here to use cow dung logs instead of the wooden pyre as a replacement. And this lets survive the Hindu tradition. Now, cow is considered very pious. So instead of wood, if they use the cow dung logs, these are machines which can make these cow dung logs, in which cow dung is put and it gets converted into logs, then it can be synonymously used as a wooden log. Now, this is a traditional wooden pyre, and Why Gaukash would be a better opportunity? India has a total livestock of 535.8 million, of which cattle is 192.5 million. An average dung by livestock per day is around 10 kgs per day. The total dung by livestock per day in India is 5,358 millions per kg. The percentage of Hindu, Jain, all of these are the ones who cremate their bodies on wooden fire. That's around 81% of 1.4 billion population. The death rate of India is around 7%. So all of these are the calculations. So the approximate death of all of these people is around 80 lakhs. That's per annum. Wood required would be 3.3 to 5 quintals per person. So the total wood required is of this massive number. There can be electricity also, but I mentioned for the previous reasons, religious reasons won't allow us to do that. Now, during the COVID times, this were the costs to be borne if you wanted to cremate a body by Hindu customs, right? So, and it turns out to be pretty massive during COVID times. All the numbers almost doubled, and the funeral rites have also undergone cost inflation. Now, so what are the economic positive perspectives of using? So these are called gaw kasht. So gaw is for cow and the wooden logs. So cost of wooden logs is rupees 500 to 2500. Cost of cow dung logs is 300 to 350 per quintal. And so the comparative cremation costs. Hello, am I audible?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, thank you. Right. And so the final environmental perspective of using gawkash instead of wooden logs, it will solve the problems of deforestation, which is using the wooden logs. It reduces air pollution because gawkash is found to be environmentally less polluting than the wooden logs. There are these studies which have been undertaken, and it would also solve the problem of unsystematic dumping of cow dung, which is going into tons and tons per day. This can be further facilitated by mixing wood shaving and bagasse with cow dung, which reduces the carbon monoxide disposal by 7% and nitrogen oxide by 13%. So one cremation releases, as per some calculation, 500 pounds of carbon dioxide into the air. According to these estimates in the funeral pyres, around 5 lakh tons of ashes and all get disposed of. Felling of trees is the number that has been mentioned here. Gokash is expected to solve all of these problems, although we understand that one of the best options would be probably cadavers and submitting human bodies for medical purposes and all. But it's difficult to convince staunch Hindus or anyone who would believe in Hindu philosophies to go for any of these options. And so, finally, that's how probably we are suggesting that Gokash is a better idea. There are some additional references. If I may also add before I close that we've already put up a proposal. We are trying to do a kind of a pilot in a particular locality and to estimate the environmental and the ecological benefits of doing this particular thing. And then, if people are convinced with the policy making, we can extend it further. On behalf of Dr. Rajnikant Parsaniya and myself, thank you so much for listening so patiently. Thank you.